Oh, I'm sorry. Jerk. Are you just going to stand here and judge me the whole time? Is that what the cameraman really does?
Basically.
You stand there and judge me. I think you should throw in those clips so people know. That's
Of your hairy armpits?
No, that you stand here and judge me makes me feel bad, you ass. What's up, guys? It's Kara Corey here, and I've been looking at all your comments, and a common one I keep getting asked are tips on cutting. You guys know I'm in bikini prep right now, so I thought I would just kind of randomly tell you some of the things that I do during prep that help me when I'm cutting my diet down, and can hopefully help any of you guys, regardless if you're prepping or not. Maybe you're just trying to lose a little weight and tighten things up a bit. Hopefully some of these tips will help you. One of the first things I'm going to tell you to do is monitor your diet and track your diet consistently. So whether you're using some type of app or program, track everything to a T. That way you know maybe what's impacting you and what's not. I know for me, as hard as it is, I need to start cutting out peanut butter. I'm like 3 days off peanut butter right now, you guys. I'm wigging out a little bit, but I'm like 3 days off. And the reason for this is, number one, it's a food that I recognize I overindulge in, or as soon as I eat it, I want to overindulge in it, whether I do or not. And then that makes me feel obsessive about food, which is not a healthy relationship. Number two, I do feel like when I omit it from my diet, that regardless if I'm following the proper portion size or not, I feel like I don't look as well when I look at my progress pictures compared to when I remove those things out of my diet. So with cutting, identify some foods that you know you may fuck up with. You know, if you have them in your kitchen and you think you're just not going to be able to control how much you eat of it, this may be a time. And don't get me wrong, I preach like moderation of everything, all foods can fit, all about that life. But you also have to be honest with yourself and identify what things you just can't handle. So think about some of those foods and maybe omit them from your kitchen, at least for a duration of time while you're trying to achieve your goal and get on the right track. So there's one or two tips, I'm not sure. Next thing I will say is hydrate. Like, drink enough fluids. I can't stress that enough. I drink at least a gallon of water a day, and what everyone needs for fluid is a little bit different, but it will help fill you up. It will help fill up your stomach throughout the day. A lot of people walk around dehydrated all day long, and with losing weight, the last thing you want is anything working against you that could potentially make you think you're hungry when you're not. So definitely hydrate. And for those of you that have trouble with drinking, I throw in things like my fun Powerade Zeros. I actually really just enjoy drinking plain water. So I don't have any problems in that department, but for those of you that do, I like doing branched chain amino acids. I actually really love throwing something in like my MTS mixed berry branched chain aminos, 1 scoop of that with 1 scoop of the greens plus multi, and that is titties. So I will make up like a huge thing of that and drink that. And that's kind of like a twofold benefit because number one, it hydrates me. Number two, it tastes phenomenal and kind of makes me feel like I'm consuming calories when it's really like, I don't know, maybe 5 calories in the branched chains. I actually don't count those in my macros. But so adding in the fluids and some fun fluids for me is huge. Let's see, another tip with cutting. You guys know I've used intermittent fasting in the past, and I have a video on that if you'd like more details on how to go about that. But I do find intermittent fasting very helpful. I am going to start to implement this again 5 weeks out from my show, because one of the things I like to do and I'm going to start incorporating is doing a smaller like HIIT session or bit of cardio at the end of the night. And I like to do that after my last meal, so I kind of hit that cardio and then that's done for the night. So I kind of rev up my metabolism at the end of the night. So I recommend doing that. Let's see. So, but intermittent fasting isn't for everyone. It really just depends on your lifestyle. For me, it works well, and I found like it helps me feel less restricted and more satisfied. But it may not work for everyone, so you don't really have to do it in order to cut. But that's one thing you could try out is the intermittent fasting. With cutting, the other thing that is super helpful for me, and I don't do this all the time, but I want to start getting on track with it because I do find it helps me considerably. Again, it goes back to fluids a little bit, but what I want you to do is think about what your nightcap can be. Think about one thing you can do at the end of the night that cuts off the food. So maybe you're not doing intermittent fasting and you don't have that like 5 o'clock window you have to hit or whatever that time frame may be, but do something at the end of the night that dictates to your mind and your body that you're done eating for the day. And this can be helpful for a lot of people because we tend to snack at night, and a lot of people tend to not eat enough throughout the day, and when they get home at night, you just graze all night long. It can be hard to shut that off. So one thing I like doing is having like a hot tea at the end of my night. Like after I'm done eating and I'm like, oh my God, I might still be hungry. Do you ever get that fear? Like, oh my God, you're like halfway through your food, not even enjoying it because you're panicking that you might be hungry when you're done eating it. That's stupid, but it happens to all of us. So try to be mindful with your food, but think about having that one last thing at the end of the night that can kind of turn off the eating for you. So having a hot tea or something like that is something sweet and satisfying. Also having something like warm like that kind of calms me down and relaxes me at the end of the night. So that can be helpful. And it just sets the tone. Like I know when I have that hot tea at the end of the night or decaf coffee or whatever it may be, the food's done tonight, folks. We're done. We're done eating. We're good. Another thing I've also done is whiten my teeth at the end of the night. Like if I know I'm done eating for the day, but I get that panic that I might be hungry, which I'm in prep. Let's be honest, when you're cutting, you're gonna feel hungry, guys. So warning to you all, you will have to learn to deal with having some hunger pains. And that's okay. That doesn't mean you're gonna die. It means it's a good thing. Think about it when you feel that pang in your stomach, like, okay, I feel hungry. That's a good thing. That means my metabolism's going. That means I'm likely going to burn through some of these fat stores that I need to burn through. So that's the way I try to think about it when I'm like, oh my God, I'm crying to Jason because I'm like, oh, I'm so hungry. I wish I could eat. And it's hard going to bed hungry, right? Let's be real. No one likes going to bed hungry at the end of the night. But you just need to know that you're doing what you need to do in order to lose weight, and sometimes feeling hungry is necessary. And I think in our society today, we've kind of gone away from that. That's a little aside. But what I was saying was I'll whiten my teeth at the end of the night because you usually have to put in like your little whitening trays for like 30 minutes or maybe an hour, and you can't eat during that time. And then after you take them out and brush your teeth or whatever, who wants to eat after that? So, and who doesn't like white teeth? Come on. So there's another tip for you. But find something at the end of the night that can kind of shut off the eating for the rest of the night, because I think that can be a common challenge for people. In terms of cutting, don't have delicious pumpkin candles in your house burning. I love food candles. Oh my God, they smell so good, but let me tell you, I make the mistake of burning them when I'm in prep, which is stupid because my house smells like a friggin' cookie. And then I'm like, why am I craving cookies all of a sudden? So stay away from the food candles. Stay away from those. Another tip when cutting, something I'm going to be doing pretty shortly here, is increasing your cardio a little bit. So one way to manage the diet with your cut, one way to manage the cut is with your diet. Let me rephrase that. If you're consistently tracking your diet and you're not seeing changes, then you know you need to start scaling back on macros. And everyone reacts a little bit differently to macros, so you might be someone that reacts a little bit quicker to a decrease in your fat or a decrease in carbs. There's different types of folks out there depending on how your body works. I am pretty responsive to a decrease in carb. I'm responsive to either, to be honest with you. At the end of the day, you're reducing your caloric intake, which is ultimately what you want, but some people benefit more from a carb reduction versus a fat reduction. It's just learning what your body is and how you respond. That's trial and error. I've been competing for 4 years now, so I kind of feel like I have a good understanding of my body, and I am a little more responsive to decreasing my carbs and keeping the fat up a little bit. So that's one thing, is with your diet. Number 2, depending on how much cardio you're doing, maybe you're not doing any, in order to kind of, work with the cut and cut a little quicker, a little faster. Maybe you've got something going on in a week and you just want to tighten things up a little bit more. Just increase the HIIT cardio a bit. Add in another session, maybe add in another 2 sessions, or maybe increase the duration of your cardio. Just take a look at what your current plan is, and sometimes adding in that little bit of extra can really help. I know for my last competition, I was not doing 2-a-days, and I was 2 or 3 weeks out feeling like, oh my God, I don't know if I'm going to be ready. My weight hit 108, 109 and plateaued. And one of the trainers at the gym asked if I was doing a second session of cardio, and I was like, no, I don't believe in 2-a-days. But he said, add it in, see what happens. And I'm like, all right, I'm going to be on stage. I should probably give this a try. It's not like I'm doing 2-a-days for life. And it helped immensely. It was 1 week of doing, and I didn't do it every single day, but I added in a few nighttime sessions of cardio, and it helped immensely. I dropped a couple pounds within that week when I did it, and it just helped me tighten things up. Again, these are tips that worked for me. Everyone's body responds a little bit differently, so kind of personalize things with yourself and what works for you. Back to your diet. In terms of cutting, this can really make or break you, because I know for me, I don't like feeling restricted. Some people are like, put me on a diet and I'll follow it to a T and do everything you say and I'll be good. Me, I'm like, fuck that. I want to feel full. I want to feel good. I don't want to feel restricted. So with your diet, with cutting, if you're that type of person like me, make sure you're making good choices within the day for your meal plan or your macros or however you're doing it. For me, I need to feel more satisfied. So, recently I've been adding in more broccoli because broccoli fills me up. Sometimes it makes me bloated and crampy, but it's like, I'm going to embrace that. That's cool, because then I won't be hungry if I'm all bloated and cramping. But pick foods that are going to fill you up. So high volume foods, I constantly recommend, adding more salad greens in throughout the day because there's barely any calories in them. Cucumbers, celery, those types of foods that, the thought is the thermic effect of food, that you almost burn more calories than you consume with those foods due to digesting them and chewing them and all that good stuff. So add in that high volume food intake into your day if you're someone that needs to feel more full. I know a lot of you commented, help me out, I'm someone that likes to eat a ton of food and I gain fat quick, how do I lose weight? So that is going to be crucial for you. Take a look at your food choices during the day or what foods you're consuming and see if you could make those things a little bit better. I absolutely love Quest bars. It's a hard thing for me to give up is eating 1 Quest bar a day. And I do typically keep that in throughout my prep because it's a little treat and it's satisfying and it's convenient. But when I think about 25 carbs and 25 grams of protein and the amount of macros I'm putting towards that bar, I know I could probably substitute that out for a big ass bowl of egg whites with broccoli and spinach and something else that would take me longer to eat and that I'd probably feel more full with afterwards. So again, it just depends on how you are. Some days I just really want something sweet, and a Quest bar for me is something I can eat and feel extremely satisfied with. I feel like it's a treat, but it's also a healthy treat. So just depends on how you are. Some ladies also commented too, what do I do when it's the week of, our little lady friend that we receive? Cravings are real, folks. Hormones get out of whack. It's a fact. So guys out there, support your ladies during the week because we do get a little crazy. But the cravings are real. So how to handle those? I usually do find something like a Quest bar, like a chocolate chip cookie dough one, or my MTS whey. That's why I love MTS nutrition, because the whey is very sweet tasting, but it's not a bad food choice. You know, it gives me a good source of protein, a little bit of carbs, a little bit of fat, so it's like a nice balance there, and it's nice and sweet. So when I'm having those cravings, having a pumpkin pie MTS nutrition protein shake or a Quest bar, something like that, it satisfies my sweet tooth, it doesn't ruin my diet, and it keeps me on track. So those are just some tips for you ladies out there. I'm gonna leave you guys with one last tip because I could probably sit here and talk forever, as you guys know, with my 20-minute videos. But the last thing I will say that will keep you on track with your cut is take progress pictures. If you're someone that gets deterred from the scale and can put you in a mind fuck like I feel sometimes, stay off the scale and just do progress pictures, and maybe do them more than once a week. Do them every couple of days. That way you're holding yourself accountable, because you know you're going to be taking these pictures, and who doesn't want to see improvement and see things changing in the right direction? So in order to monitor your progress with your cut, there's a fly in the house. Take progress photos or track your progress on the scale, whatever works best for you, or maybe take measurements. Take a measuring tape and measure the different circumferences of your body and track it that way. But doing those types of things holds you accountable. It kind of keeps you motivated and on track with your cut. So that'll be my last tip I'll leave you with. I hope you guys found this video helpful, and if you want more cutting tips, I'm pretty sure I could pull like 500 more out of me. I could talk forever. So comment below what you'd like to see. And cheesecake?
Cheesecake for cutting tips.
We always show the cheesecake.
It's so
There's
good.
always a cheesecake being made in the Corey house. I hope you guys like this video. Hit that thumbs up button, please. It helps me out so much. Don't forget MTS Nutrition. You guys can get all your supplement needs through tigerfitness.com. Use discount code Kara for 5% off. And we'll see you in the next one. The nice thing is that it does tend to, everyone gets to come out on presentation, but go out there and do your thing, and that's what you work hard for. So I got like reignite training for this OCB, posing, just on a more even play natural athlete. So I'm really excited what I can do in 6 and 3 weeks after that. So that's also kind of fueling me hard and train hard, and you know, that's what it's about, a good attitude, and I'm back at it. I'm finally there, feeling good about it. So